You are watching the biggest and the largest African spiritual platform. My name is Queen Hadasha. Call me Labraska the Sun Goddess. Today is a great day. Today is a big day. Ubeti adie tu waha Africa and the Pilo language. Kianeki. Ubeti sa same way. Ewa wasum. Today we are going to discuss a very important issue. And we'll be able to maybe send the questions, Eddie. But I welcome you guys on YouTube and I welcome you on Facebook. All pals, I welcome you. Say, Nana first day, what joining here? The topic is African spirituality and tradition, mother of all religion on earth. No, I can discuss it, but as usual, my random questions, dear, you can't escape it. You can chew and come and pour, but the random questions will put you in shape. I welcome you, my people. Let's welcome our guests. On your dada, one of the old pensioners platform. Nufialaga, welcome to Revelations. Hey, we've missed you.
You sure? I did.
You did. You greet the people and pay obeisance to them and greet your loved ones and your elders, and then we start with the conversation.
Yo, first and foremost, macho akpa dadaga ana mauga soja. Avlito avlino. Ye mako akpa dadaga da kona miapa jokpla anyima wu kata agbejima wu kata miatogba o miapa mama o manyiba nami. Ye mazam mokpokpo ya ha a dakpana miatogbi togbi gagli afoga mo togbi ajima tronoa togbi nuwodu togbi humali macho afuma va yire Nogokpo mamaga lajeshi manyiba mafuta anyinami makashi anyinami ye miapa trono kata le vanyigbaji miapa afiawo ka owo anutefe le vanyigbaji manyiba nami miadochovi maufomo kobla nonyibe yeah atanko Nufialaga akokperenchi akpenami.
Yo, where's Zona Mesiama? Or say akpenami any mama mwakwa. Nufiala, before we get into your conversation, I have a few questions to ask. I don't like talking about what I hear outside or what people say. So there is this issue going on with your people, Nogokpo people, and one of our bishops, Ajinasari. Let's know your position in Nogokpo before I ask those questions. What are you there?
Well, one thing people don't know that part of my mother's side is related to Nogokpo.
Okay.
And I also double in as the PR for the Dufia of Nogokpo. I speak for him and for the town of Nogokpo.
Great. Then you will be able to answer my questions for me. So what exactly is the issue about the bishop?
Well, I believe this is not new. We all know his first video that was in circulation about he going to Aflau to do a crusade. And according to him, they went there and he instructed his pastors to disgrace the witches and the wizards in Aflau first. Then after that, on their way, when they got to Nogokpo, I think a pastor colleague of his, one of the ties or four of the ties, came out of the vehicle.
Four of the ties? More than a car and a truck?
Well, at least things of this nature, there should be some kind of evidence to prove.
No, don't worry. You continue giving me the story.
So he said when they got to Nogokpo, their tie got off the car, and therefore, Nogokpo is the demonic headquarters of the Volta region. In fact, when we saw that on social media, the elders met and we had a meeting. But we look at the backlash in the social media coming. So we decide to wait to see if that coming Sunday, if he goes to the church, he will probably do what is right and probably apologize honestly to the people of Nogokpo and the entire Volta region. So after the Sunday, we look at the statement and the video that came out. He was like justifying what he said. And that is when we said, no, at this point, we need to respond. And that is why we came out with the press conference to state our position on the issue. Now, we gave him a 14 days ultimatum to come and answer some few questions from the elders, the chiefs and the elders, because people are misquoting us. People are misinterpreting things that we said within the 14 days. If he doesn't come, something will happen to him. We've not gotten to there yet. We only extended invitation. You cannot give anyone invitation without giving a time frame. So we gave him 14 days ultimatum to come. That is where we are now.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is he coming to do?
One, we want him. Nogokpo has 16 communities. Since he said Nogokpo is the demonic headquarters, when you mention Nogokpo, you are not only dealing with a single place, you are dealing with the 16 communities. And we know the people of Nogokpo and the thunder god on the land do not entertain demons, nor negative energies, nor evil on the land. So we want him to come and help us, show us where the demons meet, because we also would like to cleanse the place up and get rid of them, since he cannot do that. And also, we realize that he has, let me put it, demonized the entire region, not only Nogokpo, because he singled out Nogokpo as the headquarters. So our people will say, Ededi Aduanchi, wegu ekronumfi. So he needs to come and purify the land.
How does he do that?
Well, when he comes.
Are you okay? So Nogokpo is a town or a city with 16 villages, like you said,
Communities, yes.
communities. So this case, is the shrine involved with this issue, or the people? Is the people?
Well, right now is the Dufia and his elders that are handling the issue. And one thing, we've not gotten to the shrine point yet. But when we get there, we will cross it.
Okay, so it's not you people. I was going to ask, say, okay, say wakasa etia ekrona. We have laws in this country. A defamation of character. Adan among court. Why are you people making these whole issues out of this?
Well, I have encountered several of that question, that why don't we go and seek legal redress? But the truth is, in our temples and in our palaces, we have arbitration centers. We also have our court system. We want to explore that one first.
Okay.
And if it doesn't work, we will advise
Why
ourselves.
would you explore that one first? Because that is your community. He is not part of you. So it is the laws of this country that binds all of us together. So why do you want to do your own first? Are you trying to make this whole thing a religious battle or something?
Well, already he has made it a religious battle.
How?
By demonizing a whole community, because we know in other religions and in other faiths how they regard and they see the African traditional belief system. So you coming out knowing that the population in Nogokpo are traditional people, or we practice our native spirituality, and you come out to demonize it, you've insulted the people. You've disrespected us. You've disrespected our land.
But I learned he apologized on social media where he caused this thing. Have you seen any apology video or something?
Maame Grace, I've not seen any apology anywhere. Now, in Africa, we are Africans. We are Ghanaians. When you offend someone, you don't go and throw the apology into the air. Though I have not, or we've not seen any apology coming to him. But if you offend someone with Africans in African traditional system, you need to wake up, go to the person, and apologize to the person, and things will end there.
But in your own submission, you guys were waiting to see the next Sunday if you would apologize. So if you apologize, why are you now?
He hasn't apologized. So when they say, if you say your wife is a Voltarian, you have your children having ever names, and you were trying to tell people that you went to India, you went to other places, and what you've encountered on your journey as a bishop, it has nothing to do, or you don't mean to look down on Voltarians. But you see, sometimes when I hear people say he apologized, I wonder. See, let's look at the context in which he made that statement. He was projecting himself that he has destroyed the demons in Aflau, first and foremost, the witches and the lizards in Aflau. When you watch the body video, look at his body language. He was speaking with authority. It's not like, yes, he's sure about what he's saying. And therefore, the avenue he trying to communicate in the form of apology is unacceptable. We don't accept that one. He needs, as an African, he is an African first before becoming a Christian. So he must, I believe he was taught when he was a child that when you offend your elders, you go to your elders to apologize or to seek forgiveness. You don't stay in your comfortable zone and throw words and play with words and say it is an apology.
Okay, so if he decides to send some delegates, would that work? Would that be okay?
Well, we don't have a problem with him want to send any people. When they come, we will listen to them. And what we also have, we will tell them.
Today is the 14 days. If he decides not to come, what happens?
Well, we also will take our own decision.
Are you going to involve Habiesu? Is that the deal into this issue?
All the options are on the table for us. All the options. I mean, all the options. You see, Maame Grace, it is about time. Others must learn to respect we others. I don't want to sound tribalistic, but Ajinasari cannot go to Ashantiman and make that statement. No, any Akan community. When they do, you know, there's a pastor who also said something. What's his name? Is it Howard Mace or something like that? Who said in the Volta region, they have something that they say Hoseviada, Boviada.
I remember that video.
Does he understand the meaning of Bo? And does he understand the meaning of Hose? Hose doesn't mean Christianity. We call Christianity in our language as what? Amadro Hose, which means it is an imported religion. Hose, you can Hose, to believe in yourself is Hose. It has nothing to do what you have copied from the Europeans. Now, aside that, a lot of people just get up to make statements and try to disrespect us. But anytime they do that, we say, okay, because we the Voltarians, and we, especially in the African traditional belief system, we are peaceful, loving people. So anytime things of this nature happen, we say, oh, let's just let it be. And because of that, everybody wants to take advantage of us. But I've said it on an interview, and I'm going to say it again, that if Ajinasari don't apologize to Voltarians and the people of Nogokpo, we will use him as an scapegoat.
Hey, this is a serious statement.
I'm serious about that.
Are you taking the laws into your own hands?
Well, there is a law in Ghana before he made such a statement. Our laws allow us, or our constitutions allow other religions like Christianity, Islamic religion, and traditional religion to coexist. So why is it that anytime they have the opportunity, they try to look down upon us? No, enough of the disrespect.
But in your own submission, you said you people are peaceful people. So is this how peaceful people
You see, that is why they are taking advantage. That is why they are taking advantage of our kindness. And this time, as I said, if he doesn't do the needful, we will use him as an scapegoat.
Can he apologize on maybe press conference, on TV, on radio, and that will be okay?
We will not accept that.
He has to move there.
Yes.
But delegate is okay for you guys.
Anyhow he does his movement.
People are watching.
Anyhow he carries to come there, we don't have any problem with
so
that.
Delegation, way a very, very simple issue. I stand with. I mean, this is not any issue that will be. Standing with you. On my show, a pastor said he should send a delegate. Obi betro or comment section say, on sending delegates. That delegate no most more money. You are watching the biggest, so that I wear the amati. Monyan in term Christian Council or more maka or your church member the ankamonko. Where the Wakaya Moamu Bishop Untino. Mundu justice to this. Now Monko sorting the better. Yeah, we don't want any giddy. We are blacks, we are Africans, Ghanaians, Sankasa. We love ourselves. I don't know where all these things, freedom of worship, freedom of speech, but maybe he was just making a yin and itianko ye. They Declare said they will use you as an scapegoat. Obia or ye involved, standing with him and throwing shades and all that will not help. Monko make peace. Delegate allowed there in Tema or China before. Moma bibia enya boko. Now I'm tia bibi mintia monaso na muntia sembi says I want so mo kwaye wade no munya wo dead body kura eyom de o. Monfa nkwa adwendwem why. Ai na munye bibi nya nu nti ne yetena ha. Nti me de me kakura ma hwa ma be fa me akọ. Nti me de me peniye, me de mama justice, mama freedom, mama positive. Nti anu ana me de asem no egu ho e de ama no. You are watching the biggest and the largest. Na mo amowo social media no so amu ni content nti bibia na mo so na mu so jagum no. Munye kom na monka mo anu ntum. Na news e wo Ghana ha do so chen asem we ya. Ba me I was thinking that mu take advantage. That mo pese mo hype Nogokpo ana. Si say de Google kra Nogokpo ba ma take advantage am de hype mo. And I'm going to hype kakra.
No, but Maame Grace, the truth is that Nogokpo have already marketed itself already. Maame Grace won't say I say.
So yeah, me do we call Nogokpo. But why don't you make people to understand that the shrine is not actually Nogokpo? Tell people and let them know. Say Nogokpo ni yekuro. It's not the shrine. So as same way Papa we yaka, it's not about the shrine.
No, we've explained these things severally on radio stations and other platforms. Nogokpo is a town. Mm-hmm. It's a community. Mm-hmm. You understand? And Togbi Zagaja on its own is a temple.
Zagaja. Togbi.
That's a different thing altogether. We are not even dealing with the temple yet. No. We are not dealing with the temple yet. It has not gotten to the temple level.
Yo, media me mama peace. Mo fra me krasa me ne mo nkwa me ne mo beko. Mo ma yen seize fire na mo ma asam ni nanju. Mo ma yen seize fire na abayifo na abayifo do bi koka ne ho achi. Ba me na ma bo bi adi o mo anfo mo ho anjim na ambeye issue abusua. Mo ma yen hwe na yen nye bibia na bibia nya asomdwe. We are one people, one family. In fact, we read the there is nobody stranger here. Doors no. I had to say, Mumu of you, Mo Papa Fee, now we are we are just one people, so I don't know why we should let this way. Mokasakasa social media. Monka muhumbo na monko. Na ukowa ye peace no we make it. Higher near Libation. You are watching the biggest and the largest. And now question be our person will be son of Nufialaga. We bet media to comment section no mona maybe no direct. Movie among the quest. The quest this week and we no now mama very very emotional. Among na learn bibi and from all these things, you know. Say ye again your consciousness, and you see your brother as your brother, your sister as sister. Today's topic is African spirituality and tradition, mother of all religion on earth. You see African tradition, you know, and you be an for me, obi and will be tight. Or no the or no no or a religion of no, we'll get into it and yebema nufiala actually mu amaye. Who question now, keep it coming. Patrol, let it center around the topic. Nogokpo asem no explanation kakra ebetumi enya ye nyama. Nufiala obi say dabi. O promise yen say onu yen beba be kan language bi. Okay. Adagana language. People are still asking.
Yes.
It's still in their heads, my people. You see how intelligent
so
they
you
are.
said the agenda and we'll move on it.
So I will bring him and then he will come and teach us
now,
about that.
Before we go into this, today I received several calls. If I wouldn't lie, about 100 calls. People claiming, bloggers on social media saying that those on our part of the Nogokpo, the royal family, the council, someone has committed a suicide.
Yes, almost say one can say a part. Almost say former DC or something. I committed crime. Is it true? Assembly member. Yes. Is it true?
Yes, it is true.
But is it because of this issue?
No, but the bloggers and the people on social media have turned this into as if Ajina Sari's 7 days fasting that has caused this. And moreover, this man is not part of our inner team. He's not part of the royal family. So I don't understand. Yeah, that is what their mindset. So I want to make this very clear.
Go ahead.
That this man in question has nothing to do with about the royal family. He has nothing. He was the former assembly member. Yes, when we had the press conference, he's part of the town or he's living in the town. So he was there. He's not part of the committee that our Dufia.
Why would you people make this issue worse?
You see, that is how we decide not to react on it, because we see it as the cheapest propaganda anyone can engage in. Every member of our committee that His Excellency Togbi Saba put, we are healthy and healthy. Nothing, not even a blade. Oh, send me there. Nanano mama kwaya obo.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. How do we say? Sakpa like that. You are watching the biggest. We are going to delve into African spirituality. Seriously, I heard about that, but I never heard say fasting.
No,
will the fasting actually touch your heart?
No, we see it as part of Christian ritual, the normal day-to-day activity. Almost extending to 1 year. We have no problem with that.
This very simple thing that can be quenched in 1 minute. Why all this?
No, you see,
why?
Maame Grace, maturity is not about age. It's how you discern issue positively. You understand? And people are just taking advantage of these things to make themselves gods unto their followers, but not using us. This time around, we are not going to allow anybody to use us, the Votarians or Avao, Amuao, for their Christian commercial activity. Some of your business, if they are engaged in their Christian commercial activity in the name of church, they shouldn't involve us. We deal with our spirituality. And our spirituality, there's no founder. Christianity and other religions have found this. And that makes it what? Man-made religion. Our tradition, nananomusum, tokba openu sosroa, alo penunya. There's no founder. In African spirituality, you can't pinpoint and say, oh, this is the founder of this. But Every generation, it has been there. You see, sometimes when you see people say, hey, these Europeans came to show us everything. Maame Grace, there's a simple question I asked a pastor yesterday. He couldn't answer me. I was like, hey, were you born or were you created? First, he said he was created. And I said, my brother, take your time and think about it. Were you born or created? He said he was born. And I said, go and think deeply about that statement. And why did I say that? Before the Europeans came or came with the Bible, we were doing circumcision long time. Europeans did not teach us how to do circumcision, but circumcision is mentioned in the Old Testament. So the question here is, did they copy it from us or we copied it? Because they that brought even Christianity, they were uncircumcised. History is there. I'm not the ones saying it. Women menstrual cycle. We were part of our way of life. Every woman in Africa knows how to handle herself during the menstrual cycle. But menstrual cycle is in the Bible. The question is, who copied from who because before the European brought the Bible, who were practicing all this? Well, we'll go deep into it as we go deeper into the subject matter.
Yo, you are watching the biggest and the largest. Honestly, so our platform, our YouTube, our platform, our Facebook, what you asema? Aya hwehwem ansa na waka. This is serious. No mama asem the caption. Say there me picture kra there mama na ye tutu ni de bia me picture bi nam ha asema minim ada no kra video bi obi de send I mean microphone so do me ne o makoma me kwahwe kra asem kra me di nim so me picture yi e bole ho se e bole adan. There is a lot we can actually create with our platforms. Mama yɛnhwɛ yɛn ho yie ne yɛnhwɛ nsɛm a yɛde gu abɔnten because Ellie Clim ɔsɛ me nka nkyerɛ ɔmo sɛ bloggers me nkɔ wɔn ne bloggers Ellie Clim na anim sɛ me bia me na baako do obi apampam. You are watching the biggest and largest. So yɛne Nufialaga discuss African spirituality and traditions. Spirituality, Africa, traditions, religion. What is it about?
Well, I keep saying that all the religions on this earth, all the man-made religions on this earth, copied or pirated from the African tradition. And I'm going to use this opportunity to deal with Christianity first and the Bible. But before we do that, since the word spirituality is mentioned, I would like us to look into the definition of spirituality per what is found in the Wikipedia and the dictionary. I would like to read it briefly before I go deep into it. It says spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or a sense or a belief that there is something greater than myself, something more to be human than sensory experience, and that the greater whole of which we are part is cosmic and divine in nature. Now let's look at the etymology of the word spirituality. Now, the etymology, the word spirituality comes from the Latin spiritus. Spirituality was actually copied from the Latin language, that is spiritus, which literally means breath or signifying life. Now, if you take the word spirituality itself, take the "spi" out of it, there is a key word in spirituality. That is what? Rituals. That is rituals. So the key word in spirituality is ritual. So you cannot be spiritual without performing rituals. They move hand in hand. And that is where we as a people are missing it. Because you see people say, hey, I'm a spiritual because I'm a pastor. I'm a spiritual because I'm a malam. I'm a spiritual because I'm a traditionalist. What makes you a spiritual person?
Hmm.
What sort of rituals do you do as an individual? What have you identified within that will cause you to do that kind of rituals? You see, in the Ifa scriptures, there's a saying that lack of self-knowledge, my people perish. This translation or this have been corrupted as what? Lack of knowledge, my people perish. But Maame Grace, there are different type of knowledge systems in the world. But what makes you who you are is the self-knowledge. Know you who you are. When you identify who you are, then you know what sort of rituals that go with you and your entire clan. Because there's no human being that don't come from a clan. And every clan is connected with their spiritual thrones, which is in every clan, except people who are refusing to accept that. Now, again, let's look at the meaning of rituals. I'm breaking it down so that I will establish some points.
Okay.
Meaning of rituals. A religious or a solemn ceremony consisting of series of actions performed according to a prescribed order. Now, what is the root word of ritual? The root word ritual is derived from a Latin word called what? Ritualis. Ritualis. It's spelled R-T-U-A-L-I-S. Associated with the word rite, which comes from ritos, typically understood to mean a type of ceremony or a custom. Now, we've now breaking the meaning of spirituality. We've gone into the rituals and all that. We cannot mention about African spirituality and tradition without tackling two words: shrine and temple. What is the difference? Because people always trying to, let me say, abuse these two words. Now, when you go into the dictionary, it said shrine, a place regarded as holy because it is associated with divinity. So it's telling us a shrine is a holy place because it is associated with divinity. This I'm quoting is from the dictionary or the Wikipedia. I'm not the one creating it. Now, temple or shrine is a place, it's a single building that consists of the energy. Temple is what houses the energy himself or herself. The temple, the arbitration centers, everything that makes a temple, where the priest step is there, where the kitchen is a complete architectural structure that makes it a temple. A clear example is Nogokpo or Togbi Zagaja's temple. It's called temple. So it consists of everything. We have arbitration centers, we have courts where we settle issues and all that. The same thing applies to Kliko, to Afagama. All that. There are temples. When you go, you see arbitration centers and all. These are part of the temple. Now, temples and shrines are holy places. And that is why, if you look into the African spirituality and tradition, when one is dead, when someone dies, they don't carry the person to the shrine or the temple before they go and bury it, because it's a sacred place. Once you die, you are dead. The body cannot go into that place. That is why it's sacred. But if you look at any other religions, their church buildings, their mosques, they carry the dead body too. So you yourself should understand, if the place is really a holy place, or a place created by man to worship the God that he has created for himself. Now,
you are watching the biggest and the largest. The questions.
Now, I want to break something in the Bible in the context of African spirituality, because I've seen a lot of misinterpretations about this, our ancient knowledge system, or which I call the Ifa scriptures, because everything in the books of Genesis all the way to Leviticus to all the ways came about as a result of divination. That is one thing people don't understand. So I'm going to take stuff from the African perspective to break it down. Now, Maame Grace, I believe you've heard about the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what it is. Now, let me read this short verse. Then I will break it down from the African spiritual or Ifa scripture point of view. Then our people will understand where it was picked from and corrupted as today. Now, let me go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 8 to 9. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eyes and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Maame Grace, tree of life and the tree of good and evil. If you read, it tells you a tree that is pleasing, is for food, pleasing for food. And this one was specified to tell you the tree of good, of the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil represent people. The Genesis story about the creation was actually Eurocentric formed. It has nothing to do with the original scriptures or Ifa scriptures. So, now let's bring it to the African spirituality. Please, our brothers, the Akants or our cousins, how do they call the body?
Dua, nipa dua.
Nipa dua. So when you nipa dua, so which the nipa dua, there's dua, nipa, but it's a dua. So when we come to our brothers to in the Gadangbe or in the Ga language, they say what?
Bomochu.
Bomochu. Bomo. Then chu. So when you come to the Everest, we say am chi. Tree is there to represent people. And that is why when someone dies and you go to the funeral and they are reading the tribute, you hear them saying, a mighty tree has what? Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean? That is an African knowledge system that has been corrupted over the years to the point. Well, I know someone will say, oh, that is just, but let's go deep. And now we'll see, we still go into the Bible. First Psalms, Psalm 1, verse 3.
Now, first Samuel.
Sorry. Sorry.
Well,
Psalm 1.
Psalm.
Psalm 1.
Also, Psalm chapter 29. I'm saying, also, why not catch it out?
We'll call into the spirit.
You are watching the biggest. You'll be birthday or platform. Or say, Nidini Yadai. Oh, no. I need to wish her. One of the pearls is celebrating her birthday. Hey, Nadine Mengbody, 9 milli. 9 milli. Hey, Churoni ye, Mammy, and I'm in Bonnie ye. Why, it's your birthday. We appreciate you. Right? They didn't Mumboni ye, Mammy, and I'm wishing. Bema wa hifa.
Yes, Psalm 1, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And say, he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. I wouldn't like to read all, but the first frame, he said, he. And he said, he represents what? Man. So, and he will be like a tree. So he's using he to represent the tree. So it is part of the African spirituality. We always use trees to represent people. Now let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 8. He also said, for he shall be a tree planted by the waters. It is also there. So in African spirituality, we always use trees to represent people. It's nothing new.
Hey, Rade, Obi knew that the farmer, fruits and vegetables. Maame Grace, tell the man that they should open branch of Nogokpo in Accra for us, please. How can they open branch of a city and a village for you? Hey, Muhadunyo. Pacho why?
So in African spirituality or in our knowledge system, our ancient fathers always used trees to represent people, and it has transcended in all the African languages. It is there not only in Ewe, not only in Chi, but in Swahili, Bantu, and all the languages. When you go, you do your own research, they always use trees to represent people. Now, that is in African spirituality. Now we look at the duality of the Creator. In African spirituality, we always look at the duality of the Creator. But you can see that the woman, the feminine energy, was taken out during the Eurocentric mistranslations of the Ifa scriptures. Women have already always in the ancient past played a very powerful role in our spirituality. That is why our ancient fathers in our African spirituality always call the Creator, they give it a dual name. So when you come to we the Evers, it say what? Mau Sogbe Lisa. Even the word ma wu, it's a two-word put together. Ma gives you what? The feminine energy. Wu will give you what? Wu, like a seed. Someone who plants the seed. Because women always plant the seed into the woman and they conceive and then give us back life. So the man is the who is the seed and spreads the seed there. So Mau Sogbe Lisa. B Sogbe gives you what? The masculine energy. Now, Lisa gives you what? The feminine energy. Come to the Gadangbe or the Gans. They say what? Ata Nanyumo. So Ata gives you what? The masculine energy. Na gives you the feminine energy. The same way to Akans, they say what? Ochedi Ampon. Kwame. Asase Ya. Kwame gives you the masculine. Ya gives you. So the duality of the Creator has always been with us. Now, and that goes into the African original concept of Trinity, which represents in our fathers in the ancient time is the Father, the Mother, and the child. It has always been like that. Now, if you remember the story of Joseph in the Bible, the man who was sold, according to the Bible, was sold into slavery. They said he had a dream. And one of his dreams, he saw what? He said he saw the sun, the moon, and the stars were bowing to him. And his father said what? Are you trying to say, or are you saying that your father, that is me, your mother, will come and bow to you? So in African spiritual knowledge, the sun represents the man represents the sun, the woman represents the moon, and the children, if you look at the stars, there are many, so they represent the stars in African spirituality. That is what we are talking. It is part of our knowledge system before the Europeans came to corrupt all these things and repackage what they learned from our fathers or what they copied from our fathers to us now. And that is why today, any African who is well educated see his fellow African as if he's nobody or he's not learned because he has acquired European knowledge. But the knowledge of self is no more there. So we look down into our tradition, into our spirituality. Maame Grace, for me, I always say, anytime you call me, I will come. Do you know why? Because despite you being a pastor, preaching,
Oma pam you.
Oma Pamu,
You are watching them.
but how can you palm the goddess herself?
No one will let you
Hey.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. Ebahi, young boy.
When you call me, I will come, because despite you having that knowledge, you are not looking down on your spirituality. You invite everybody here. They share the knowledge without looking down upon anybody. But you see, the man who enslaved you, the man who colonized you, will never give you a system, will never give you a God that will make you strong. So they have given us a system where it's like we are caught up in a web and they keep pressing us as they want. But it is about time we take a second look into our spirituality, into our tradition. The black man is refusing to do research about himself because we lack that self-knowledge. The black man, as I'm saying, because of slavery, colonization, the black man is more European than the European himself. Where are we taking ourselves? So you can see today, if you can flow in a very good English, you are respected in certain society. When you articulate yourself in your own local language, they will laugh at you. Why should that be? Look at China. They are using their own dialect, their own spirituality, their own tradition. China is growing. China now is a superpower. When they speak, America fears, and that is the reality. Look at Japan. Look at India. But look all the race. It is only the black man that have forsaken his own self. And now we've become, excuse me to say, we've become like vultures chasing after every dead body around. Why? It is time, it is time we change our mindset and look at this thing. And that is why we need to take some of these issues seriously and change the narrative. Nobody is going to change the narratives for us. We ourselves must change the narrative. People call their own family clan thrones as stool. But when you go to English language and find the definition of what they call stool, it's very negative. Your family throne. In the ancient past, in the ever language, in the ancient past, what we refer today as what? Togbijikpi. In the past, our fathers never called it Togbijikpi. They referred to it as what? Kokwe. For Kokwe. And that is what Europeans came to learn from our Asian fathers in Kama, and they changed it to what? Holy of Holies. Kokwe. For Kokwe. Because those thrones are sacred things. I remember one time I was traveling with my Camry and I had a terrible accident on Akachi bypass. Just the dimension of my throne, clan throne, not even a scratch happened to me.
What is the name? You don't want to mention. They will be to keep. These people are here. Look at the love they are showing you, because we are not reading comments. See the love they are showing you. Give them everything, as the platform is always. Won't you glorify a stool that has protected your life? Won't you project it? Okay, no go bank. Would a radio station which reach him? Niajo unkwane de wo bo jani.
Maame Grace,
No, what is it? Mention the name. Let all
which
vibrate on it.
Thomas?
Oh, come in, remember.
I tell you, they are scary.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. Osromi channel. Aka ubeti me di ba Nogokpo. Ma be solve problem no.
I tell you, dear Pepper, tell you, dear. Yes, sir.
I'll pepper you.
I beg.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. We are very interested in what you are saying, you know.
Yes.
We are learning. We are interested in such knowledge, honestly.
Yes, the reason why I'm saying this, I don't have a problem. That is for my clan and for my clan people because it's part of my lineage. I can call on it in any time in danger and I will be free. The question is, have you, our viewer, have you been able to identify your clan throne? That is the question. Because a pastor somewhere, a man of God somewhere tells you that those things are demonic. So you look down upon those things. Why would you not move? Please, it is time for awakening. The time is now. Go into your roots. Go ask questions. Ask your elders. They will teach you the right way. If you ask strangers, if you copy wrongly from strangers, they will lead you astray. So African spirituality is not negative. It's not demonic. It is the man who conquered you that created or made it look like it is evil. You know, Maame Grace, I hear people saying that if we are all that powerful, why is that Europeans came to colonize, to conquer us? You see,
what is it about?
Maame Grace, if, for instance, if I come to your house and I manage to conquer you and write your history for you, would I share the resistance you put when I was fighting you? Yes. Let me give you an example. When the Danes, you see, when the Europeans came first, when the Europeans came to Africa or West Africa first, they didn't come as missionaries. They came to fight, to conquer. And I will
be rough.
I will give you an example, and I will be glad I can take your crew to Ativuta close to Nogokpo.
We will go, Pa.
To show you where the Danes were massacred. Not physically like that. The same Togbi Zagaja were invoked and killed thousands of them. And they vamoose. They run, they all buried. The place is there right now. You see, all these things are not kept in our textbooks.
And so we will come and record it and put it in
you understand? For them. There are great things. See, I remember in those days between Denu and Aflau, when you go, you see some statues there. You may think it was just a statue, but these were people who our Asian fathers, these are white people that our Asian fathers sent what we call the spoken word. In our language, we call it what? Bsa. The spoken word. And they turn into statues. These are the powers, your father. So it is just recently that all those things have been relocated. But it is there. I know where some of them are. These are white people who were changed, who were commanded, who were invoked, and they turned to statues. Our Asian fathers fought.
So how did they go through to them?
Good.
How did they go through to them?
Good. Now I'm coming to the point.
Please come
there.
So
then they have to go back and do their homework. So then they have to come back again as what?
Missionaries.
The colonial Christian missionaries. So when they came, they were having the Bible. They came in peace. They pretended they came in peace. And you know, look at African culture. Look at our people. Our fathers are very hospitable. We receive people, strangers. We give them places. They stay. But they were having their own agenda. By the time our fathers realized that no, but then some of our own people, some of our
The
own
goons.
traitors,
The goons.
the betrayers, whose
Omako join.
descendants are still around,
Small butter.
yes, sold us out for a penny. You see, it is time we speak the truth as it is. They are the same people who will stand down and condemn your tradition. These are descendants of those who betrayed our ancient fathers. And we know them. So you see, they did whatever they can. But if you have your own people within who are selling you out because of their pocket.
Me say recently na yeko visit Elmina Castle. Na baby ekuro kituwe bi wo ho. Omo no mo abrofo ne bae no mo be sre asase wo mo. And the king gave them the land for free because they want a place to stay. When him say omo ko stay ho we, according to history no, the king they asked the king have these local guns. They went to ask the king to give them the guns. The king refused and they bombed the whole place, the whole entire village in Nina.
Yes.
They bombed them.
They did worse
What
than
to know be fear?
They will destroy. You see, it's like killing is their hobby. That is why they came. You see, our people, it is time we do more research.
But let me add this before you continue. Nufialaga, this Bible you are quoting.
Yes.
This Bible you are quoting.
Yes.
The first ever Bible dropped in Elmina Castle. The first Bible. That is where it dropped. It's the same Jesus ship that brought Shinap, that brought this same Bible. The same Bible you are quoting.
Mm-hmm.
What is the source of the Bible? Who brought it? Who made it? How did they get all those information? Why are you quoting the Bible?
Good. You've asked a very good question because I have some followers on my page who have issues with me quoting from the Bible.
Oh, okay.
I keep telling them that, listen, what you know today as the Bible, Bi means two, put together. Now, the Old Testament, as we know, aka the Ifa scriptures, were written by our black ancestors. Now, when we migrated from the ancient lost continent of Mu, I think we treated something like that. Yes, Mu. All the way to the Sumer kingdom, to the Akkadic kingdom, which today they call it what? Akkadian Empire. There was no empire with the name Akkadian. The name is Akkadi, means light, lamp. And one of our ancient fathers who ruled in that part of the world, his name was corrupted. Gagli became Gilgamesh. They corrupted the names. Amu Rabba became Amorabi. A lot of names have been corrupted. So, at the end of the day, when you read some of these things, it doesn't add up. So I asked someone the name. Now before I even come, let me come to your question. Most of the things that took place in the Old Testament was as a result of what? Divination. Let me read one for you, because I know someone will say. Now, folks, let's go. Those who have their Bibles and stuff, let's go to 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 8. I read. He said to Hazah, I'm calling it in every name. Take a gift with you and go to meet the man of God. Now, in the past, when they say man of God, we are not referring to these commercial Christian workers now they call pastors. No. In the past, when they say man of God or man of God, they are referring to the diviners, the bokos, those who divine, because they can tell you your past, your present condition, and your future. He said, go to meet the man of God. Consult the Lord through him. Ask him, will I recover from my illness? This is a king sending his chief messenger, to go to an Afar priest to consult for him if what he's suffering from, whether he will survive or he will die with it. This is divination. This is consultation. We will go, I will explain how the divination or Ifa was corrupted in the Bible as what? Tumen and how do you call it? Hokwi or Hochi was corrupted in the Bible as Urimin. This, we still use it. But when you Google it, I will go into that, but let me break this one so that everybody will understand. So most of the things that happen in the Old Testament is as a result of divination. Now, there is a book in the Bible called the book of what? Job, right? But Maame Grace, J-O-B in English is what?
Job.
Job. Ejuma.
Yeah, the Bible, you see Job. Who's over catch and say Job?
J-O-B. Maame Grace, J-O-B, Job.
Oh, now can Job. Yeah, can Job. Is it by force?
You okay? You're first. Now, the author
today be today.
The author of that book. What is the etymology of the name Job? When I come on your show, I want to
you
prove.
always bring. Say you need a platform. You difficult.
Yes, so you need to prove everything beyond every reasonable
My
doubt.
pals, I appreciate you guys. You guys show them levels. Obi obeba ebia akase platform no crofo na ewo so no. One year who year. So that's a plus for you guys.
Now, I'm showing something, I don't know, so that they can zoom it for us. The book of Job. Let me read there. The author of the book of
the above
book was
known
as Jobo, and not Job. Joboshi. And in our spirituality, there is people we call Joboshi. That is their job. Now, Jobo was a priest of this energy. This energy we call Anyigbato, Alo Togbi Sakpate, Alo Togbi Aholu. This is his rank, the earth energy. You see the earth color and combine. Now, when you are a priest of Togbi Anyigbato or Togbi Aholu, and you go contrary, or let me say, you do something abominable, Naduko, what pours on you is that your entire body, something pours on you from head to toe, like a chicken pox, and it bursts. This knowledge is what was written. So the story of Job or Job in the Bible has nothing to do with that they are so-called sky daddy. It has to do with Togbi Anyigbato. Now, do you know how they corrupted Togbi Anyigbato in the Bible? They corrupted it as what? Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
Yes.
The demon.
That is, now I'm going to break it down for you. Now let's go deep. Anyone with a dictionary, take your phone. We are learning. This is life. You can tell me if I'm learning. I'm lying. Go and Google the etymology or the origin of the name Beelzebub or Beelzebub. They will tell you it is what? The god of what? The Ekron, the Palestinians. Mawuma de akon onona. Akon is akon over akon. Like it could be a community or like ant hill or something like that. Bipomu. So they corrupted this. I think I printed something out.
You are watching the biggest Job. Hey, asembe nkra ni neni pebre wasasisi da ben kra. When will this thing stop? Job.
Good. I think I have it.
You love Maame Grace and Nufialaga. Mamaga amawu.
Okay, good. Now, so we now look at the Job. Okay, the definition of Job. I think we've gone through that. No, I even made a list for here. Okay, so if you look at this name, folks, look at these two names here. One, they say what? Job. Jobunka in modern Hebrew. Google it. It is there. Modern Hebrew. Then when you come to the Ewe, Pilo language.
Esu, Atija.
You hear we say Jobo, because those knowledge is from our ancient fathers. And I'm saying this with all authority. I'm ready to debate any European scholar on this earth, on this, to prove the authenticity of this. So according to their own research, their own writings, okay, Beelzebub, according to Wikipedia. Beelzebub, according to Wikipedia. Now let's go. Beelzebub is a name derived from a Palestinian god, formerly worshipped in Ekron, and later adopted by some Abrahamic religions as a major demon. Maame Grace, so the name Beelzebub is associated with the Canaan god of Baal, which is what? This is called Canaanite or whatever. But we'll come to that topic. Now, you see, so in actual sense, these are Europeans writing, so this is from Wikipedia. So in actual sense, it was these Abrahamic religions, that is Christianity and Islamic religion, that converted this as a demon. So literally, from the beginning of the universe, there was nothing like demons. They look at this God and they call it demon. So this is how the Genesis. Now, let's go to Matthew. Please.
Open your Bibles.
Open your Bibles or Google it. Yes, yeah, dear. Matthew chapter 12, verse 24. But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, it is only by Beelzebub, that the prince of demons, that this man cast out demons. He was one of the heavenly, now, that is it. That is the verse. It was explanation. But he was one of the heavenly beings described as Satan by the European Bible translators, which of course is fake and a big lie. So the word Satan never existed from creation. It was the Europeans that created this Abrahamic religion of Christianity.
Asembeni, he said, could it be some crofo history,
they pirated everything that belonged to us.
It's just a question.
I will prove you right. Like, you don't worry. You know me if I'm full of documents.
Go ahead.
Don't worry, I'll prove you. Okay, so that is how. So now let me read this thing. Anyigbato, one of the other heavenly beings, are responsible for patrolling the earth. And behold, all the earth remains at rest. And that explains it. Now, Anyigbato, that is the earth energy. And what we call Togbinyigla, in the Bible, they say what? The Ark of the Covenant. It's a Maame Grace, these are gods, these are deities, these are supreme and sovereign energies.
You are watching the biggest, so Yankasa Yenji Yahundi. Now say ye kwame ya ukrom ekocha the quest. Na ye twa video no, na video no e shaky sa cameras no video no e shaky unim ye fly drone. The energies no arrested drone no was.
They will do it without
their
permission.
They invited us and we went like we were coming to your place. So drone no koto baby na ya na omo kofa na beast ekobu omo. So they had to come to the village, inform them, and then some of them led us to the kofa drone for na battery no cry. They invited us, but the energy was not shaking to China. They bet to social media. We say
no, they should have.
We don't like anything about us crying yempe.
No, it's because in America, we as a people, we don't love ourselves. We don't cherish what we have. So anyone at all can package their own
Yay,
lies
Roddy.
and give it to us. So, Maame Grace, let's proceed. Now, let's read the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 6 to 7. One day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. 7. And the Lord said, Satan, where have you come from? Maame Grace, let me explain this verse. From the month of May, from 15th May going, all the supreme or the sovereign energies, they embark on a spiritual journey. Recently, the one we invited you, we were doing, that is what we tag as what the National Libation Day. It is for us to usher them back. And you see, and every time we do that on 15th June, we experience heavy rainfall before it cuts down, because the energies have arrived with goodies and power to serve humanity. So when you read first book of Job, chapter 1, verse 6, it said what? One day, the angels, in other translations, they will say the heavenly beings, or in other translations too, they say the sons of God came to present themselves to the Supreme One. So they asked Satan, but even if you look, no, beside the question, if they don't know each other, if they don't work for each other, why would that communication go on? Just like in the book of Genesis, they say God asked Adam, who told you you are naked? But near Sina, God to know I shall the kambu, not on until you may know. But why is it now he doesn't wear his kambu anymore?
Why? Why does he kambu?
You see, God in the book of Genesis, maybe I see Adam, where God asked Adam, who told you you are naked? They say God was walking in the garden. In the garden. No, she kambu.
Take kambu go.
And only pan and chan shampabo.
Take kambu go.
You see how the mistranslations goes.
So you are adding up.
So I'm now trying to tell you how
Nogokpo for the kambu.
So I'm telling you how they corrupted. So those days they're telling us, God, see, this is English language. Who told you you are naked? Because
Bishop will be preaching. Or say, and when Abraham got to Tel Aviv, he picked up a phone and called Sarah. Where are you? No, I'm saying, hey, now I'm not phone when you go for Sarah. Abraham got to Tel Aviv and picked up a phone and called his wife and said, Saraya, where are you? I am in Tel Aviv, I'm coming.
Maybe I know you say a come with. Maybe I know you
say You are watching the biggest and the largest with Nufialaga.
Yes, so we proceed on, Mami.
Proceed.
So, you see, so anyone who work with the energy we call Anyigbanto or Togbi Akolu or Togbi Sakpate, and you do something abominable, alo do kone, that thing pours on you. Recently, a woman experienced that. All their body, chicken pox, it comes like a chicken pox and start burst. So when immediately you done the rituals that is supposed to be done, they do it for you and you are okay. That practice is still there. They corrupted this energy and named it as demon and named it as Satan. I am not the one fabricating these lies. It is they themselves who have put my is to expose the lies that we've been fed for thousands of years. You understand? So Christianity or Satan, the demon, never existed then. So if someone say some place is a demonic headquarters, we have issues with that because we know ourselves, we know our history, we know our which today the Europeans have corrupted as what? The esoteric knowledge. The knowledge system, we hold the keys. We are the controllers of the cosmic knowledge system. When we say people don't understand, because we know who we are and we know the power our ancient fathers carried.
Papa, so one ko kasa asem we anka nkrofo yi omo pride nkosuru sei. Se dey omo ti ni nam soro. Wadom omo. Se dey oh they are taking their fans. Asem anka mo be kwenti ni bash. Mama omo vibrate wo so ma asem no. Mo ba be ma bacteria ma ba be dane monster abesi nipa so.
Maame Grace.
Mama standing with for no ngada mo ho na mo fa cars be 5 nko wo na de wo ho bia mo nkoye. Na asumdwe mba no na ye nyansa sebe.
Maame Grace, we are still decoding African spirituality
go ahead.
in the Bible. Now, please. It's not a practical session, but I would like to show our viewers something. I would like to do something. Okay. Maame Grace, now we are coming to show something. We are coming to talk about a chi, which is the black powder in African spirituality. People, I heard a pastor praying and saying that he went to Keta, he went to a place and they pour black powder to him and all that. You see, when you don't understand things, you say what you think, but that is not the truth. We are talking about a chi. It is something that when you are sick or you have a problem and you apply this, a chine, like it puts an end to it. A quenchi, whatever your problem is. A chasso. A dumno. So you see this black powder. Let me just show you something before I read from the Bible. This is a piece. I'm just going to pour a little on the paper for the lessons. But this one, the work that he does, I will come on a practical session. And I'm going to ask Maame Grace to give me a bucket, a silver bucket, and we'll pour water on it. This is just like a sun. But when you pour it in the water, it's supposed to dissolve in the water. But it will not dissolve, and I will light it. After that, if anyone is suffering from some few diseases that I'm going to mention, it's going to change. You're going to be cured once and for all. It will put a chine once and for all. This is a chi. You see how it is, just for the lessons. It's black. That is, and this is made from different combination of herbs. This is made from different combination of herbs. And in fact, water was invoked from the above to prepare this. Now, I know our brothers who are into Christianity or who are into Amajiro Hosel will say this and they will call it demonic because they've not done their research. They've not researched into what it is. But we have done it. And that is why when we speak with confidence because we know who we are. Now, let's read. That is what they call it.
Moto. We need to know any powder. I be upgrade. I do soap. The fragrance.
Now let me read about this chi. Now let me read about a chi.
The awakening.
Let me talk about a chi. A chi. Now a chi, as we call it in the Ewe language, this is a powder substance which is mostly prepared in the Ewe traditional or spiritual places, temples. It was named after its marvelous performance or curing of so many diseases, such as physical and spiritual diseases. Now, functions of a chi. I'm not want to talk about functions of a chi. The misconception about a chi have made everyone see its functions as evil and ground it to powder. Oh, sorry.
You are watching the biggest and the largest.
The misconception about a chi had made everyone see it function as evil. There is no vast difference between this substance, a chi, and the Western vaccination that we have. Because a chi sometimes needs the vein, the blood in order to work perfectly. You understand? So when we performed it in African spirituality, the unlearned mind, excuse me for my language, the unlearned mind will say it is evil, it is demonic. But they don't know that in the Bible, Musa, which today people call Moses, Musa, which people call Moses, performed for Amuao, prepared this for Amuao, which today have been corrupted as Israel. In the ancient past, there's no nation with the name Israel or Israelite. It never existed. It was created. Now, let me read 2 verses from the Bible so that we look at this achieve. If what I'm reading, if it is wrong, please, our viewers, go to the comment section and say, Nufialaga, you are lying. I read Exodus chapter 32, verse 20. And he took a calf which he had made and burnt it in the fire and grinded it to powder and strawed it up the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. Achi, black powder, omonomoye. But you see, because of lack of self-knowledge, we see ours as evil. We see ours as demonic. Black man, black woman, it is time to revisit what we have. Until you go back and do your own research or research into our ancient knowledge, some of these things, the oppressor will always package lies for you. The oppressor will cause you to hate yourself. So that is a cheat. Now, you can also go and read Numbers chapter 19, verse 17. There's no time, so I wouldn't read it. I'm giving you the verse. Go and read it. Put it in the comment section, or you can copy it and put it. So, Achi, aka black powder, is not evil nor demonic. It was ordained by the Most High, and all our biblical seers use Achi and still in use in Abadanyigba. Now, thank you. That is for the Achi. Now we still proceed. I think now we are still decoding African spirituality and tradition in the Bible. So when you sit down and you are condemning your own self, I'm proving to you that it is your knowledge system that has been periodized to reach this level.
Bravo. That thing you are holding was my favorite scripture. So, broom of distraction.
Broom of distraction. Now, broom of distraction. You see? You see this picture. You see, this is Togbi Gagli of Togbi Ajima Temple in Kleko. When we are going to our sacred forest, he holds this broom. All the chief high priests, they hold this broom. And the Bible describes this broom as a broom of distraction. Now, do you know why it is called the broom of distraction? Because when the chief priest is leading, and there is any negative energy approaching it, it neutralizes it. It's a very powerful broom. Those who understand what I'm saying will understand. And this can be found in the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 23. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 23, the broom of distraction. Yes, read it and research it. This is your own spirituality. This is African spirituality in the Bible.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. The broom of distraction. Well, warfare. And when we release brimstones, broom of distraction. Who doesn't know this? Things are happening. You are watching the biggest and the largest. Mama, okay. Question in bra. We are still. You answer my question. Though. The Bible you are quoting, sham. The first one fell on the slave market, the castle in Elmina. How they got it, you will explain. But you finish with your explanation.
Maame Grace, don't say intro questions.
Me can't say. You will just answer. You.
Okay, so now we go to another spirituality or African tradition that have been stolen from you, the black man. It is your own spirituality. But you see, those who changed it are so crafty enough that when they put things in the book, they think we will not research it. So we end up behaving like them. But this time, it's an information age. It is time we bring the knowledge system. Now, let me tell everyone, the book that was sealed by Daniel, it has been opened. The truth is coming out. We are decoding the truth. Our ancient fathers wrote it down. So the knowledge system is in our DNA. So we are the only people who can decode the Old Testament to make sense, or the Ifan scriptures to make sense. Now, we are going to look at two words in the Bible. One is what? Urim. The other one is what? Thummim or Tumim. Now, according to Wikipedia, I'm going to read the definition provided by Wikipedia. Now, the Urim, the definition of Urim and Thummim, worn by the high priest attached to the ephod. They are connected with divination in general. Most scholars, now listen to this English. Most scholars suspect that the phrase refers to two sets of objects used by the high priest to answer questions or to reveal the will of God. So, I don't know whether I'm making sense. These two set objects were used by the priests or the seers to answer questions or reveal the will of God. Now, the Urim is spelled
U-R-I-M.
Okay, then the Thummim.
T-H-U-M-M-I-N.
Google it. You will see it. And it will tell you that the Urim is white stones. They describe it as white stones. Now, these are the white stones that they are talking about. And to date, we still use the hokwi or hochi. They say sidie. Charis for divination in our temples. When a work is done, you use the four to ask questions if the work is perfect. If the Creator have accepted your offering, we still do that. Yes. Now, when you cast it and the four all turns up, it means your sacrifice, your prayers have been answered wholeheartedly. Maame Grace knows a little about it. He knows more. I won't say a little.
I don't know anything, no. He's lying,
so,
no.
They said the Urim is described there as what? White stones. Now, these are the white stones. This what we still use in African spirituality for divination. But you see, I will explain, maybe in a later one, I'll explain how the name was corrupted all the way to become the Urim and the dead. Now, so now let's go. This is the Urim. Now let's look at the Thummim or Thummim. Now, that is the Gumaga. It's what they call the Thummim, the Gumaga. When you go to any Boko, any Ifa priest, you see them holding something like a black chain with seeds. That is what they use to do the divination. Now, when you Google, they will tell you that the Thummim is black seeds or black stones because the modern Hebrews were converts. They have no idea about this. When you Google it, when you go to YouTube and you Google it, there's some rabbi there who was saying that they don't have the Urim and the Thummim. They don't even know how it works. The truth is, yes, I agree with him because
it's not for them.
It's not for them. But we still have it here. That is what we use for divination. And when you look at the divination, the definitions here, it said,
to answer a question or reveal the will of God.
To answer a question to reveal the will.
I think motion next week, the question about Saturday name is Libina or Canena, the white stones in Mokai, and no video na me and I'm a demon. And also, any you are watching spiritual hour. I always say that Mama ain't taking your time. Now you're decoding your money, you taking your time. Now you come. The only problem we have as Africans, nibi, and he said we don't want to take our time. Now I yet to say obi what challenge. And the hatred in obi can't some cry because what time in you don't want to listen cry na what to bukra akokitwem. Like I always say, your information no and your knowledge na scatter. Inti I just say you na your picking your join it, your back so low. Now your to your bunny your join it your timia discover your. The power is still with us. We've just messed it up and we can gather everything and be ourselves. You are watching the biggest and the largest, the tallest, the highest, the strongest, the heaviest. For the account, revelations to the world. You are watching Nufialaga and Maame Grace. Inti who 2 mini urine, urine me one, brofo no moye ne kase yesa na wohwehwe na ayedin but uhu seed na wohwehwe ubodin no na de kone ba na wasanya bo say what is this seed gradually won't say be lead wa na the work original and the simplest name na wunim no. That is how it will help you to know. Papa, please continue.
Yes, we're still on African spirituality and traditions. Yes, today we are focused on the Bible. We'll come and do other stuff. So now we go ahead. We'll read the book of Leviticus. Yes, the book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 4, they're going. Now, this is a healing process that was done by our ancient priests. So, I am going to read it for you and then show you the pictures. On Maame Grace show is evidence-based.
Yes, I had you to me jalu.
So we read Leviticus chapter 14, verse 4 thereabout. The priest shall order that 2 live birds, 2 live clean birds, and some cedar woods, scarlet yarn, hyssop, be brought for the person to be cleansed. Then the priest shall order that one of the birds to be killed over fresh water in the clay pot. As 6. He is then to take live bird and dip it together with the hyssop into the blood of the animal that was killed over the fresh water. Now, clay pot. Now let's start from the clay pot. This is the clay pot. How do you call earthenware? Earthenware.
Earthenware and earthen bowl.
Earthen bowl. That is it. And according to the scripture, there's a scarlet yarn. Scarlet means reddish. Let me put it that way. And that is what is around it. This is used for cleansing, purification. That is the scarlet yarn that is there. Then they mention 2 birds. Akuko mienu. They mention 2 birds in the scripture. Live birds. Akuko mienu. Nkuko na we mami somu yentafo. 2 birds. Yeah, this is pure African spirituality. In the Bible. I'm not the one saying it. I'm only showing you what is there. Now, they mention hyssop.
Hyssop.
Or hyssop. Now, they've mentioned that thing, so we are confused. Now, the hyssop originally, in every language, we call it amaga, alokwachi. It's a mother of all herbs for purification and cleansing. Now, let me read this from
so you are watching the biggest
good. Now that is the Maame Grace, please.
The hyssop.
Yes, please read it for us.
The definition of hyssop.
Yes.
A plant used in purificatory sprinkling rites by the ancient Hebrews.
By the ancient Hebrews, that is you, your ancient fathers, not Europeans. This is the herbs, amaga. Now let me teach something small about this, only one, because we don't have time. Now, if you attend a funeral and you are coming home, get this herbs, put it in a bucket, fetch a water in a bucket. You know, mumpusa, how do you call it? How do you say pusa? Sometimes some of the words you can't use English. You pusa. You pusa it. The spirit is working. So you pusa it, and you either use it to wash your face or you can use it to bath. Don't use soap. After that, go into your room, sleep, and do whatever. It purifies you from or cleanse you from any negative energy. Right. So this are part of the African spirituality still in the Bible. Now, we are still on African spirituality. Evidence base. Someone will say Rasta. But let me tell you the truth that Samuel mentioned in the Bible. This is how his head or his hair used to look like. We all remember the story of Anna. She was barren according to the story. She couldn't give birth. And she went to a priest. Maame Grace, I think you remember the name of the priest.
Eli.
Good. You see the way you pronounce it, Eli. You see, you go and give it to those prophesying people. You will hear Eli. You're proud. So Anna went to Eli, the chief high priest of the temple, the trunk of the temple itself. And then went to Eli. Eli prayed for her and asked the energies and asked the sovereign God to give her a womb to conceive. And as a result, as we still do today in our temples, in our everland, where you come and you seek that, you make a vow. Hannah made a vow to the gods that, hey, if you help me conceive, I'll bring this thanksgiving to the temple. And according to the story, Anna conceived and gave birth and came to present the child. Now, when he was coming, according to the story, he brought what? Cow, goat, sheep, doves. You can only get these things in the African spirituality. Asori bena Yawuba muko ye naming ceremony or whatever dedication mudin ponchini nyamako. You don't go it. It is only in African spirituality. So you understand. So in our African spirituality, in the ever language, any woman or anybody who goes to the energies to seek assistance in order to give birth, the child, or we describe the child as what? Doplevi.
Abusia wan ka yeko ayike podcast na na tabil. Osi obi odi tabil tabiri de akeka ka hu nyina oye tabil ne mba. Odi ma anyimpa. No wofre won. Obi ye ayi bima me patro ka kire nipa ne se onkose ende ya the quest na ye no. The first Bible dropped in the castle. Katira and Mami said the Bible was on top of the dungeon. Na ye didn't nanatum. Katira said the first slave ship na de omoko ni friend Jesus. Katira said nuemu and na ye ni pani bi ni ye de tupunumu. Nti onko taking the balance ni nyina wo. Me this time I no get time. I no get patience. So my patience finish.
Yes, I agree with you.
Sisi enu wa be metinta sukoko egu for matchero honestly. Because for 7 years, you know we are not preaching here. If you are for Jesus, move. As of one back, come and listen to them. Today, we are talking about African spirituality. The reason I write the title, the thing is not good for you, but you are watching. Lost soul, confused being. Keep watching. We are the biggest. We are the largest. Yanko.
And when they do, they say you are using your carnal mind too. Sometimes I don't understand. As if the English language is for them.
That's what we are kada.
How
How can you say so Samuel?
And I said, Samuel, no, they said, according to the story, no razor came upon his head. And this is how the process. So, in our spirituality, in the ever spirituality, no, Anka Samuel, because they know
What they call Hokra Ewa, the Nazarenes, they believe that in Kofuna Yamine de Omo Baye
exactly
for a purpose, no?
Yes.
Omo from Nazarenes.
So
Omo ye omuti. Intina Samson, ye nitina ni owu ye na ho den say. Samson, Jesus, they mention a lot of them. Those were Nazarenes. Na Nazarenes, you know, the encho omuti, Rasta na wo omuti so. Enya Rasta eye Nazarenes. You are watching the biggest and the largest. I didn't say anything. I'm not for him anyways. And to go and watch Obiya me pamocho where there is a special request. When we are done with the live, go and watch the quest. Please go and watch the quest. Me say I will treat why public latrines, you know, baby they did them in cemeteries, old cemeteries. And now be what baby are not shrines. Now just for you to pull on them to defile them. I'm going to make that video for you. I want to have my insanity before I do that video. Because I don't want anything to possess me. I want to speak the way I want to speak. But if not, and I decide to talk, me call castle nearby, and I'm in recovery. Me person me okay. And sana me deal with that topic no. So go and watch it. Obia and share and na on jing and chi. We have to know. I have told you about Cersei, cake, and church. And I've told you how it's a bloodthirsty goddess who drink the keke account. And to keep watching and keep learning, make a baby I want to Google. The ayaka wahe information. Google them and read them.
All.
Delve deeper. Or no one. You can go and get deeper into it and make your great decision. Don't make any decision out of fear because you will lose heaven. Make decision because you are convinced. That's what I'm talking about. Please continue.
Maame Grace, you really even touch my heart with that statement.
Do you have a heart for somebody to touch?
You know I have
Say your Samuel and go.
You know I have a heart for you. You know
Me?
that. You know that. No, by the way, that is it. Actually, the African, sometimes when I see how some of our brothers disrespect their ancestors as if they've not done anything for them. Sometimes I feel so sad because before the Europeans came, it was your ancestors who laid their life to secure this land for you. But then the Europeans have not brought Jesus for you. By the way, let's go on. We are still decoding African spirituality. African spirituality and tradition in the Bible. So now we go to the New Testament. Now we'll go to the book of the Gospel. Good. The Gospel according to John. I won't say book of John. It's Gospel according to John. Say a John onu hunyama no John no go. So let's go to Gospel according to John. John chapter 8, verse 8. I will not read all. I will just sum it up. You go and read and put it there. It says, again, he, into bracket, Ayesu, stood down and wrote on the ground. Now, I'm using this picture to depict the writings. What was Ayesu Kristo doing? You remember the story where they say a woman have committed an adultery and he was brought to Ayesu Kristo, which in quote, your Jesus. And according to the story, he went down, he stood on the down and started writing on the ground. My dear, this is African spirituality. When the allegation was made against the woman, he wanted to find out if the allegation is true or false. So he went down with the son to do a divination to find out whether the allegation they've made against the woman, it is true or false. So when he found out that they were lying, but they were trying to set him up, he told them, he without a sin should cast the first stone. And they knew they were lying. They were fabricating lies just to set him up. Nobody was able to stone the woman. It was Ifa divination. It is still being practiced in Africa. Please.
Atija, kasa ni nyina esi Africa naba. Esi mashem koma bim. We are the biggest. We are the biggest. We are the tallest. We are the highest. Please continue.
Let me add one. The most powerful platform.
Bam.
Yes, silly.
You can go and drink the sea.
No, drink water and sleep. So, we are still decoding. Now, this picture, before I read, this, we are going to talk about the crown, just like Maame Grace super hat. We are going to talk about the crown, the golden, the golden bar on there, and the how do you call it? Ako, the parrot,
the
feathers, the red one. That is what is on her head. Now, this is what our parents in the Yevu practice. The god of thunder practice. If you reach the Minawo and you reach that highest rank, they are crown that you wear. This is what we call the sacred emblem. It is in the Bible, but we are practicing it today in African spirituality. And you who claim to be a Christian don't practice it. Now let me read for all of us to understand. Leviticus chapter 8, verse 9. Then he placed the turban on Aaron's head, and he set a golden plate, the sacred emblem, on the front of it, as the Lord commanded Musa, not Moses. So, this is the gold plate. You can see it there. And this is the what? The sacred emblem. So all make it the sacred emblem. That is the red feathers of parrots. So if you go to Nogokpo, you see parrots there with their feathers there. If you go to Kiliko, or where all our sovereign energies are, you will see it's a sacred emblem. The Most High instructed our ancient fathers to wear, and we still wear it today. So you can Google the sacred emblem. The verses are there. Search for them. We're still practicing it. African spirituality is not evil. It's not demonic. But because of lack of self-knowledge, we see it as evil and demonic. Now let's proceed. Now we are still on the colors of our gods. That is how I caption the colors, so that some of us will think that Europeans brought us everything, including colors. We need to rethink again. Our energies have their colors. So now you can see some colors: red, blue, that gold-plated stuff. What is it? It's in the Bible, but we still practice with it in the Volta region, in Togo, in Benin, in Badagry, part of Nigeria, the entire coast, where the children of Yevao, or where the children of Yev are. Now let me read. Exodus chapter 36, verse 37. And he made an hanging for the tabernacle door of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twinned linen of needlework. This, if you go to most of our temples, you see them hanging at the entrance of the major temples. It is there up to today. We are still practicing it because we are the chosen priesthood nation of Yeva. We proceed.
Yeah, no, they are mobile pictures.
We still the colors of our gods. Now, we're going to read Exodus chapter 28, verse 5. And they shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet than the fine linen. That is what one of our priestess is wearing. It's a combination of all that. Know yourself, black man. That is it.
Know yourself, black man. You are watching the biggest and the largest. Abusua mesra wo sa wan kwa nkoshe the quest ye na nwumre we are 5 o'clock because of the life. Yeah, they called 5. It was supposed to be 6. Now they call 5. Koshe ebusua. Koshe baby a me say why is it say omuma slaves no e wa ase wo na asore no wo so no omuma asebio omo call toilet no omo good omo chese ahomte eho na rape any gayism ne de akeka ka nyina efiri baaye ekwa aso na sori ni su firi baaye ebusua me ye ni open wa obetimi aboa me so say the gurus no the bishops no de obetumi abene me discuss de entia eho na sori sha ase eho nso na ewudi sem ni ekum ye kunipa kra ye akokopo ye twitwa ne ti a say ye tutu fom ye de ni moja agu ho we de nipa ne wu ni amano so ato atwene who fight for freedom a ne ye de wakoto edan mu ni nyina akose uwi a wo se the life soul ni wi a kona kose abusua mesrew uwi a kona kose na nipa wu a yama no so ato atwene pum yetimi de obi kose ba bi ye ma na aduane di na ode no sa abobɔ dan na wawu afam said ye dija ade ehye gyamu ne ye de brandi onipa dasani ehonam that place same place so na asɔre ne wo ehɔ na mente ase no adenti na omo ye sa ade no na omo wa asɔre na tokuro ni da asɔre dem mo nti hɔ na omo hwɛ so obi ewu a na omo koma no so ato. I just need education. I'm not condemning anybody. We are all education. I need someone to come and tell me, educate me, the pastors, the bishops. This platform they open. Obia is not against anybody. Ubetumi aka say platform where the law of Ghana, freedom of worship, freedom of speech. Obia ntieti obia so fa ahudie so. But where the mihian kofo mbeba be educate yen. Enti se ubetumi a na wakofo obi na wako rape no asori dan ni nie door ni nie danger no wa ase ho na nkrofo to toilet ni it is not blending for me. Enti Nufiala wo de ko to Bible no wi a ka kire me that was where the first Bible came to. Enti no where did they get those stories from? The stories na how did it what happened? You need to explain, but you keep finish teaching us.
Yes, let me sum up with this thing that we go deep. Now we'll talk about another African tradition or spirituality that's still found in the Bible. And this time we're going to talk about libation. Libation. I know today, even most of us hate to see libation, pouring of libation. I remember in our school days, even recent times, when there is a national occasion in Ghana, all the religions are called, including African religious people, come to pour libation. And it is unfortunate that during the tenure of our former president, because he was a Christian, stopped the pouring of libation. The truth must be told. He was absolutely wrong because he's a Christian. He decided to do that. But the Bible that he holds as a Christian talks about libation. The founders, the Abrahamic religion was founded on libation. So why is that we've taken libation out of our national event in Ghana? The narratives must change. Now, let's talk about libation. Libation is the highest and the most powerful form of prayers in the history of black race. And all the 4 elements of the earth is acknowledged. That is the land, the water, the air, and fire. Invoking and activating these elemental beings during libation makes them to intercede for us. These elemental beings are on this earth to intercede our ancestors. They intercede on our behalf because they are interlinked with the universe, with the cosmos world. So they communicate spiritually to the universe. But we stop all this. Now, in the past, our fathers, they don't pray like how we've been taught to pray in the Christendom. No. In the past, our prayers, our ancient fathers, they invoke, their prayers is to invoke. Odonagbe, adogbe nwakwa nwanajo. They invoke to pray. We don't pray. That is why we say dogbe ra. Dogbe ra. Ra means what?
The sun god.
The shining forces, which including the sun, the moon, the stars. This is part of our adagana.
Adagana never basu life.
You see, the knowledge of ourselves has eluded us for a very long time. So,
but Nufialaga, me what problem with the libation with the snap? Because the same people came with snap as well.
My dear sister,
because
there's a
we
problem.
were using palm wine, the brukutus and akpeteshis
and all that.
So the snap, no, have you guys now
My
when
dear,
you use the snap, then you put the weapon on the shrine, the bottles. I have a problem with that.
It is true. The challenge is not only, let's be honest with ourselves. The challenge is not only with Christianity and other religions. There's a problem too with our spirituality. Things are certainly not being done as it used to be, or as it used to be. It was the Europeans who brought those stuff, push our chiefs and our people to use it. You see, it's part of their commercial business entities to push, and as time goes on, it has become part of the problem.
I feel it is making our gods drunk.
You see, and it is true somehow. And yes, somehow, but the truth is, what was used from the past into most of the strong, the sovereign gods, they were so powerful. But now, some of the things are not being done right. And that is why some of us have come into the scene, you see, doing a lot of education in the system, because we realize that the challenge, there's also problem in this. You understand? You need to clean your home, your house first. And we are doing that, you understand? And we're combining the two. So I agree with you. There are certain things that we've adopted wrongly. And it is time we have to undo some of these things. So as time goes on, trust me, we will get there. We will get there. So on libation. So there is nothing wrong pouring libation at all. Now, libations were poured in the Bible. Let me give you one example. There are several. I will give you the verses, but I will read only one so that you take the rest of the verses and read. Numbers chapter 8, verse 7. And eat libations, a fourth of hiney. Hyena, that is what we call in our language as what? Jaffi. It is something that they put drinks in it. It is someone who so much on hind, H-I-N for on mona. It is your own things that your Asian fathers used to keep our locally brewed alcohol in it. It's for storage. It's a storage container. And we still, sometimes they use the ceramic this thing to do it. But now we don't even use them anymore. So sad. Now, for the one lamb in the sanctuary, cause thou a libation of strong drink to be poured out to Jehovah. In this translation, they say Jehovah. Until Jehovah no wanuma petisiwa.
I didn't hear that.
it is there. So
Our
they should
time
read
is
it.
due.
Let me quickly do this. So they pour libations in the Bible. Why is it now wrong to pour libation today? Now, Maame Grace has started giving me warning already. Our time is due. So let me sum this up with a short story. Now let's look at the story of Saul in the Bible. When you read, they tell you that they said he has offended God and God stopped to communicate with him, either by the Urim or by dreams, by whatever. So he went to a medium. Now, the medium he went to, they say a woman who is in charge. The woman here in our African spirituality, in our ever spirituality, those who call the spirit of the dead or any energy are known as what? Amagashi, and most of them are women. So I'm not surprised Saul went to a woman to call the spirit of Samuel for him. Now, when you say this, our Christian brothers will say, oh, that is the Old Testament. Now, let's go to the New Testament. I think Matthew chapter 5, there go about the story, the hills of transfiguration. The caption in there, people will understand.
Chapter 5.
Okay, so maybe I may be wrong with the verse.
Chapter 5.
I may be wrong with the verse, but when you look for the hills of transfiguration.
If you are not ready next time, don't quote.
Oh, don't worry,
it's
Maame
not your
Grace.
book.
It's my book. They say what? Jesus and his brothers, Peter and co, they went to the mountain. And they said there, two ghosts appeared to them. The spirit of who? Moses and Elijah or Elisha appeared to them. Moses was dead and buried probably thousands of years before Ayesu Kristo. Is it not a ghost that he called? And yes, a man or kofre. You see, sometimes let's take our time to do some intellectual reasoning before we condemn. Not because we have become religious, we hold on to things without doing some kind of critical thinking. Where we are at a point where we are battling an intellectual warfare. This fight is about intellectual warfare. To be free, to know thyself, it's an intellectual warfare. So please, my brothers and sisters who are into any other form of religion, stop putting emotions first. Look at issues holistically before you judge. Because sometimes you may judge a book by its cover wrongly.
Your social media handles and your numbers. Social media handles and numbers. Okay, so social media.
On social media, I am on Facebook. I am by the name the teaching high priest. On Facebook, TikTok too the same, Instagram too is the same. On YouTube, I am there with the name Echo 3 TV. The word Echo, then the number 3 TV. Now, well, with my number, I will put it out there. But please, if you call and it's not about anything serious, I will not respond. Because Maame Grace, some will call you.
Na me fra wa hwese beba.
That you also from see me girl be di me sika over to me aboa me mama.
Say no mu ni
What sort of mindset is that?
Abusia, tomorrow morning time with Maame Grace, we are teaching levels of spirituality. And no na ye teach you or na past 6 o'clock. And na do spiritual hour so let's get into reincarnation and see what is there. Who are responsible for reincarnation? Are we trapped here? And also say we are supposed to be here 100 times. That's what I will be teaching. That's
a great topic.
We also says Revelations because so I know past 6 o'clock time with Maame Grace 3:30 Revelations and 8 o'clock spiritual hour. This spiritual hour need this ordinary time with Maame Grace no mo bia me say yasa woda ye tua woda ye di nso hye gu wa yi ni mu da chena di bi begu mama why. Thank you so much for watching. Nufialaga number no boy. You can me refi.
Yeah, the number is 0277 another 777 843. That is WhatsApp. WhatsApp, please. Thank you.
Or say WhatsApp, please. Thank you. Nufiala, thank you so much. Nti train Adagana language, you know. Now I be finish the akana. One now communicate with you. Now also over babe also abe
I'll do a practical session.
Media who
Yes.
promise ya you nti ebe frɛ now aba. We will bring him back as soon as possible. Follow his platform for more education. Esuana na ubesua and ebe keka bo. Misi ochana na pa ye levels of spirituality. Our time with Maame Grace. And you raise me no more reincarnations. Are we trapped here? Is reincarnation from the creator? Who are responsible? The energies that are responsible for reincarnation is what I'm going to teach on spiritual hour myself. Me manager munda na sema me or manage me words or say wa ban me from the darker studio or say me kwa me to me nde me ho nti say no. And then anke ho na me pese me kwa ban me, but we will still teach reincarnation and those who are responsible, the rulers who are responsible for reincarnation. Say dey me bie niam eni so kakra. But wo wi a me pese wo kɔ the quest ye ni 5 o'clock ya. Wo sha me patro hye na hye biom for the third time. Na fa wo comment ema me because me ba ye na me nye okay. I have been basa kinda because Eniamesi Cersei has eaten a lot of souls. And Cersei has made those who gave them those souls to eat, rich. And we are here still poor. And we are still practicing Cersei and cake. The bakuna can one kasa fasoso. Sir, Odum for Dumia Ebeshiano past 6 o'clock. Nufiala, thank you so much for coming. He's coming back for Adagana and the rest of the way. But please, as you are going, I know you love me. Please, the kings in Nogokpo should hold their peace. They should hold on. If there is anything they believe and they respect, they should temper justice with mercy. Sometimes people talk, and sometimes out of joy, we talk without thinking. I'm not saying I'm pleading on his... That's not what I'm saying. I can't say that to an elderly person. No, I'm just trying to understand that. I'm trying to say that when you go, you also... I know it's painful, when people trample upon you for a very long time, you want to prove a point. But a peacemaker is the one who would be worshipped all the time. So when it gets there, meaning so can be a baby. So on behalf of all the me I'm your secretary. I'm begging. So most of more social media, stop putting fire in the saying na fa akosi ha. Unim Nogokpo akoho na kokwa kire omo se una unim. Munsusu. Na nsama ye wo krom ha na dos mo ma yenja obi asama ye ka. Ni yenkeka nsem ni bebre. Enkrofo da abontin o endre ye nsuo to ya igbe ho baabi. Ensuo na form. Edi na matachi ni area ho. No, can say government should come to their aid. All these things are new. Journalists, this is what you plan to do. They say, Maame Grace, than spiritual people. That is the power. I'm still the well star number 8. I'm still the sphere of destiny. Thank you so much, Nufiala, for coming. I appreciate you. I always appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching Revelations, the biggest, the largest, the highest, the tallest, the greatest. Revelations to the world, Macau.